Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Movies That Stars Kids. And this is a classic. This is it. This is one of the biggest money makers of all time. This is a movie wonder from my childhood that I love to death. I saw it so many times on VHS. I don't have a physical copy with me, but I do remember it wholesale, and that is E.T., the Extraterrestrial, the 1982 classic that shattered box office records and stole our hearts and captured our imaginations. Now, I saw this movie a long time ago. I didn't see it in 82 because I wasn't born yet. But when I saw it on VHS for the first time, I was like, wow, this movie is opening up my eyes. I love the cast. This has a monumental cast for the time. It's one of Spielberg's greatest movies ever made, period. Sorry, Ready Player One. I'm not ready to see, yeah, good visuals. I'll give Spielberg that, but I'm not ready for another British chick to take over a franchise that I don't want. Sorry. That's not for me. Never was, never will be. Anyway, this is not about Ready Player One. I've changed my mind. I don't want to see that movie now in the theater. Now, E.T. is a classic. I'm talking about the theatrical release, not the 2002 re-release where they changed the guns into walkie-talkies and they had added CGI and they had a scene that was cut from the movie. Not that. The theatrical cut that I saw when I was a kid. The film starts, it's very atmospheric, when they show E.T.'s spaceship landing and they show the freaking, the glowing orbs that's from his planet, from the green planet. And when you see him running in the grass and you see his heart, vroom, vroom. This movie has amazing sound effects, amazing visuals for the time. The puppet on E.T. looks fantastic. It's also a suit. The voice of E.T. was an old lady. I didn't notice. I love the voice. The way he does his finger like this and he can heal people. I think that was a cool idea. Henry Thomas is a great kid. His Elliot, he's great in the movie. He has to carry this movie on his shoulders. That's why I wanted to review this because he's really, really good in the film. And he's a kid actor and he's an adult now and he's really good. I saw him in Dear John many years later, and he's really good. This had Drew Barrymore in it. This is one of her first big films. I love her in this movie. I think she's very cute and whatchamacallit, she shows a lot of emotional depth even back then at a young age. I forgot the actor that plays the older brother, but he's good in the film as well. You have Peter Coyote in the movie. You have Dee Wallace. She was like the it mom actress of the 80s. She was also in Cujo. She was in The Howling. She's really good. I really enjoy her as an actress. And yeah, everybody in the movie just plays it well. Like the score, I love the freaking score in this movie. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's one of the most iconic scores in film history. It kicks the crap out of any of the scores in the recent atrocities that we got in the last 3 years. But I'm not enough of that. But there are Star Wars references in this movie. Elliot shows a bunch of toys to E.T. when he meets him. He shows Boba Fett. He shows the Walrus Man. He shows freaking Lando Calrissian. Yeah, a bunch of canon Star Wars toys. And also the movie, like that, everybody knows that iconic scene where Elliot is, riding his bike. E.T.'s in the basket, and he has a little white hood over his head during Halloween, and he's flying, and you see the moment of Elliot flying over the moon. I love that scene. That is going to stay in my mind until the day I die. It's amazing visual effects, and with that score, I just love it. And even the bullies in the movie, the ones that are picking on that start to pick on Elliot in school. There's an appearance by a young what's her name, Erica Eleniak. She was in Under Siege. This is her when she was a young kid, and then in Under Siege she's topless, and I'm like, yeah, I'll remember her forever for that. She's very sexy. A woman that's not afraid of her feminine beauty. Yeah. Suck it, Kathleen Kennedy. I think she produced this movie, but fuck her anyway. I can't stand her. Everything she touches, she now just turns to death. But this movie is amazing. I love this movie. It's an iconic classic film from 1982. Like I said, the score is absolutely wonderful. I know this movie is the reason that John Carpenter's The Thing flopped. I get it, okay? I think that movie's great. I love it. I think it's a fantastic Carpenter film. But don't blame ET. This movie is great. It gets a reputation for being one of the greatest films ever made. It's been preserved in the film registry for being, significant to film, and it is, because this movie didn't have shitty sequels, it didn't have shitty prequels, it didn't have any spin-offs. It's one movie and it's done, and you get it. You get the emotional depth, the scenes where Elliot's getting sick and ET's turning white. I didn't get scared with that. I saw this as a kid, never scared because I knew the alien wasn't real, but his character stood with me. His little fingers and his little feet. The scene where going into the fridge and he's licking potato salad and he throws it to the dog and then he drinks a beer. I remember all of this right up here. And Dee Wallace's acting is fantastic. I think she really, as a mom, I bought her. I'd never thought that she was playing a character. She felt like she really was Henry Thomas's mother. She would go out of her way to be with him, to protect him from the people that break into the house. And it's really good acting. The movie has amazing acting. It's got atmosphere. That's what's missing in sci-fi movies today that are trying to do it, like Valerian and Jupiter Ascending and freaking Rogue One and freaking uh even some problems in the recent Star Trek movies. We want atmosphere. We want to feel everything around us. We want to take it all in. We want to live in this fantasy world. We want to be invested. And this movie has characters that we invested in. The kids are not annoying. They're really good actors. They carry the film. They're cute. They show ET a side of the Earth that he's never been there. He's not there to invade, which is good. It was a friendly alien. I love the scene at the end where they give him the plant, the flower, and then what you call it, what Drew Barrymore kisses him on the cheek. He says, "Be good," and ET phone home. You got to remember that line. That's a iconic line. And when he hugs Elliot, he hugs him twice. It's heartfelt. It's real emotion. I really feel that to this day, and that's why I love this film so much. I got to get it on Blu-ray or DVD sometime because it's amazing. And everything in this movie works. You could not remake this movie today. If you did it, it would be a bad CGI alien. Not the 2002 version. I'm saying even worse than that. And Elliot would be played by a girl, and it would be all about the humans, and ET would just be in the background. Here, no, this is his film. The effects still hold up. The constant references to other films and everything worked. Like when ET scene, he turns the TV on and he sees a Tom and Jerry cartoon, and he's like, and yeah, exactly. He gets scared, and there's a scene where he sees a movie, and then they're reenacting it. Henry Thomas and Erica Eleniak, and it's sweet. That score just hits at your heartstrings when they're releasing the frogs out of the window. I love that score. Just the score is monumental. It's so monumental. I love every bit of music in this movie. Just it transcends me to this world, and I love it. And I'm glad that this is a one and done. This is a self-contained classic film from 1982. It still holds up. If you have not seen this movie, what are you waiting for? Don't wait until the next millennium. See it. E.T. The Extraterrestrial is one of the greatest films of all time. Period. There is no denying that. Like after Star Wars and Indiana Jones and even the original Star Trek films. Yeah, this is one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time. It made a lot of money. It still holds up. Audiences love this movie. They call it timeless. It's timeless. It is really freaking timeless. And I just love the movie. I love every single frame of this movie. There's nothing in this movie I don't like. Really, there's nothing in the movie. I think that if you cut some of the curse words out, I know it was the 80s, so they had curse words in PG movies, but if you trimmed it, it would not offend parents at all. Because there's some scenes where the older brother curses a lot, and the older kids curse. But I'm like, hey, for the time, I didn't notice it because I was a kid. Now I'm like, eh. I'm like back then, they got away with it because it was the 80s. Now they would not say half of the words that they say in that movie. But yeah, it's just iconic. Everything in the movie. The Reese's Pieces, I remember that. The scene where Elliot steps on the pizza, I remember that. I remember the scene where he throws the baseball and the baseball comes back to him. I did not play that atrocious game on the Atari. I would never touch that game. Some neighbor had it. I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is nothing like the movie. The movie is one of the greatest films to ever be made by American filmmakers, and it's written well. Spielberg directs the crap out of this cast. The visuals are amazing. It has atmosphere. The score is monumental. I love the freaking music in the movie, the soundtrack, everything. Just this is cinema. This is art. This movie is a masterpiece. Yeah. Why I don't have it on DVD is beyond me, but I should have bought it a long time ago. Shame on me. It's just most of the releases now have been the 2002 cut. I want the theatrical cut first. So that's what I saw when I was a kid. And this film was going to stay with me forever. The ET goes home. The film is over. Elliot looks in the sky. That monumental music comes, and bam, the movie's over. And I'm clapping. I'm like, this is one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. I'm glad I experienced it as a kid because it followed me through adulthood. And just the fact that this movie still holds up 36 years later. Well, it came out in '82. It's 36 years. It'll be this year, and it's better than a lot of summer blockbusters we got in the last 10 years. If you don't count the comic book movies, a lot of the sci-fi movies, they bomb because they don't have the atmosphere that this movie has. It doesn't have the rewatchability that this movie has. It doesn't have the atmosphere or the music or the freaking characters or a good director that knows what he's doing without throwing $103 million in freaking CGI in your face. This film didn't cost that, and it shows in a good way. So E.T. is a great movie. This is one of the most entertaining movies I've ever seen, and I will watch it again soon because I want to see it before I'm 40 again, and it just holds up. And what else can I say about it that hasn't been said to pieces? It's it. This film is art. Period. So thanks guys for watching my review of E.T. I have no problems with this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's right up there with the original Star Wars and the Wizard of Oz and freaking uh, Singing in the Rain and a bunch of other movies where I have absolutely zero problems with them. There's flaws, like some of the things could be dated, like because it's an '80s movie, but like some of the technology, but it is a film of its time and it will live for all time. So cheers to E.T. It's one of the best films ever made. Thanks guys for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.